You were looking at this huge athletic career and had a very sharp change in your path due to an injury. You know, no one can see that coming. No one can change that. But what you've done since then in helping others and helping other people see, you know what, hey, this is a great plan. What's your backup? You know, what are we going to do? Where are your other passions lying? Take me through the process of how you came to develop the SAFE program.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, after suffering my injury, I was just trying to figure out what I was going to do for myself because all I ever focused on was sports. And actually the idea of a nonprofit came to me in a dream. And I just graduated from college and I had a lot of time on my hands. And so when it came to me, I said, you know, I'm just going to explore it and see what happens. And as I started talking to people and learning more about it, you know, the purpose of it came to me, you know, day by day. And, you know, I knew I wanted to help middle school students understanding the importance of having an education and understanding the importance of having a backup plan for life. Because when I was injured, I realized that despite my physical abilities, as long as I had an education, I would be okay. And I had to explore some other things.
Wow. So it focuses on working with these kids, but they're so young. And I just want to know, I mean, I substitute teach middle school kids, and sometimes you just want to like hit your head in the wall. You're like, how do I get through to you? So for you, how do you take something as big as their future, something that kids don't necessarily think about or take seriously all the time, and really get them to internalize that and harness that?
Yeah, so we come up with very creative ways of helping them understand that the importance of that education. And so one of the things can simply be just starting with a vision board. We all have a vision for how we would like our life to end up. And so once they create that vision board, we then connect that to the academics piece of things. So it's okay, if you want to become a doctor, what do you need to be doing now to set yourself on a path to get there? And we come up with some fun activities, fun programs that are hands-on. Right? So an example would be, let's say, woodshop. Woodshop teaches a skill. It gives them insight into that career path, but it also helps connect the dots between math class and a project that they're working on. And so if the math is off, the project is off, and it's easy for them to understand that. And so we continue to create programs like that will just be in their face saying, this is why it's important in order for you to get to your ultimate goal of where you want to be in life.
Now, you know, you and I both went to college, and it certainly has its merits for certain people. But what I love is we're seeing a resurgence in the vocational schools and these hands-on schools, like you just said with woodshop, and it's great that you touched on that. How do you see that directly affecting communities, this resurgence in the hands-on in-house jobs?
Yeah, no, it'll be huge because honestly, you know, I didn't want to go to college, and the only reason why I went was because of my mother, right? And so when I got that degree, I handed it to her and said, "This is for you," because I always knew I was going to be an entrepreneur. So in woodshop, you know, in those vocations, we're actually working on opening a workforce development center that will have a woodshop in West Baltimore, and we'll be able to get people trained and employed in the construction industry. And I just think it's very important because with the narrative of everyone needs to go to college, you know, everyone's not equipped to go to college for whatever reasons there may be, right? Some people may not want to go, or the money or the debt that they may accumulate while going to college. Whereas if we can get people trained and into trades and into those careers, in 4 years, they may be making a significant amount of money. Whereas if they were graduating from college, if they weren't lucky enough to graduate debt-free, they have debt that they have to now figure out how to pay off, and they may not get a job right away. Whereas again, woodshop and the trades that we see and we have, you know, with that coming back, more people will be equipped to be successful in life.
So we're seeing a lot of change right now, and especially it's crazy because there's a pandemic and there's massive change going on in the country at the same time. You being a voice for these kids and not only pointing out, you know, like, hey, let's focus on your future. Let's get hands-on. Like you said, you know, the college route isn't for everybody. And I think too, it's important. We're starting to refocus on the fact that some professions simply don't need that. But how are you taking these young kids in this time right now and that positive just push forward of this is how we're positively going to make change. This is how we're positively going to impact not just your life, but this is the community around us as well.
So one is understanding the power that they have in their voice, and understanding that they are leaders, no matter how young that they are. And once they understand that, and once they understand that they have a platform and they can use their platform for change, it's up to us really to guide them in that direction as they're older, the adults, and to set them up for success and show them how they can sustain that success. Because they are our future. We can equip them, but we need them to use their voices, and we need them to create this positive change that we want to see, in the world. And so, we always like for volunteers to come out and help us out. Of course, monetary support, but I have to touch on what's happening today across the nation, and actually across the world with everything. We need people to be advocates and speak out about the injustices that's happening. We need people to get involved. And this isn't short-term things that we're talking about. We need people to be involved with this for the long term, because that's the only way that we're not only going to be able to create change, but sustain that change. And we need as much support as possible to do this. And it's not just with SAFE, it's with a lot of other organizations across the city, across the state, across the nation, across the world that are doing these things and fighting this fight day in and day out. And so that's my biggest thing, and my biggest message is get involved, but definitely get involved for the long term.